I've got a lot of screens before me, and today we are going to talk about Godrej Habitat Sector 3. And the idea is to undertake a project analysis and whether the presentation, the intention is that it is an independent and ground level assessment of Godrej Habitat in Sector 3 of Gurugram. The objective is not promotion, it is to give clarity, look at the asset quality, location dynamics, and risks, especially from the investor and end user perspective in the Ashok Vihar region. Okay, so let us just quickly get started with it. So it is sort of a premium living in a challenging context because the property is based out of Ashok Vihar, very near to the railway station. It's a very good location, both in terms of connectivity, as because there is a railway station at a walking distance, the metro station, uh, which is at the moment proposed, but finances have been released for it, and as of date, land acquisition and parcels is ongoing for it. Not to say land acquisition, but land buying by the Gurugram Metro Authority are ongoing for it. And also, if you analyze that area, there is reasonably good road connectivity with the older part of Gurgaon, the Palam Vihar region, as well as if you go to the Dwarka Expressway. So connectivity wise, it is a good area, and also, in terms of how it is built, the kind of property it is also at a great kind of design for the property, in terms of how the lighting is coming, etc., and that it is very deep inside in Ashok Vihar, away from the chaos of the street. So net the core thesis is simple: that's a strong brand product in a very difficult urban setting. However, Godrej brings security and credibility of at least the structure. I know there are adjacent properties like Summit, etc., which have an issue, but net the way the construction has come up, it is reasonably good. However, the trade-off is that it depends on old civic infrastructure in the older part of Gurgaon, and approach roads require certain amount of patience because fundamentally of the very reason that it is not in a very savvy new looking location. There is certain level of dilapidated structures, etc. If you look inside, yes, there is certain and if you look at the future, there are certain upsides. For example, metro station is coming, there is renovation of railway station ongoing, the enhancement of the bridge on the track adjacent to the building is also underway. So there are upscale points, but again, we have to be mindful of the fact that there are also issues in the area, which people need to be mindful of. Now, here it says that construction is currently going on, and January 26 was likely to be the completion date. It has not been met. They had taken an extension in the middle of August 26 and are looking forward to complete by then. Haryana RERA has already imposed certain penalty on Godrej in another project. So I think the management will be a little mindful of this, except for in the last 2 months when GRAP 4 has been imposed. The project progress has been satisfactory, has been going on fine, and let us hope that it gets completed on time. Pricing, while here is 11,000 for a 2 BHK, for a 3 BHK, you can still get deals in around 10,000. It is not a very difficult or something that people that doesn't happen very frequently. Next, I come to the next part, uh, which is let's anchor ourselves in the fact beyond the brochure. So the land parcel is of about 7.5 acres. License number, you can go for yourself, check on RERA's website, was taken in 2018, and it was registered on 8th of March 2019. The proposal is to have 384 apartments. You'd heard many people tell that this is a very low density and a good project in terms of density. And yes, that is true. The way the towers are also arranged, it gives a feeling of certain space in it. And given the size of clubhouse and everything, the density is going to work in your favor quite a bit. And it is very distinct and different from New Gurgaon or any other place. It's the old part of Gurgaon. It is as old as it gets. This is very near to the Gurgaon city, original Gurgaon village, as well as the local railway station. But that is the good part of it also, because it is near to the railway station. This is an area which has been in existence for good over 200-300 years, and all the civic amenities are in a sense sorted. You will not be in an area which doesn't have adequate electricity connection, which doesn't have adequate infrastructure for drainage, etc. Yes, it might be a little outdated, but then when it is compared to New Gurgaon or parts of Sona which don't have any infrastructure, it could be an upsell for this kind of property. Again, coming to the next part, which is sort of on the brand positioning, how Godrej has been trying to sell it. Well, they're trying to sell this 5-tier security system, which makes it stand out against a lot of other places in the vicinity. And yes, that is true, the security system. But 5-tier, etc., is nowadays found in almost all the apartments, and it is nothing extraordinary in terms of sales potential or value. Uh, there is no specific additional thing that you will sort of get out of having it in a having this kind of 5-tier system. Almost all builder societies will find it. While they've been trying to say it, maybe way back in 2018 for this specific area it was an upsell, but now it is more or less something that you get in almost all the luxury projects. Uh, Amenities are standard for this segment, but the real premium is controlled access and predictability of the area, plus the fact that you will have your own security guards, etc., which generally sells you well. Other than that, coming to the next part, which is location dynamics and the old Gurgaon ecosystem. Well, here I would say that it is a little better than Dwarka Expressway. And a lot of things that happen on Dwarka Expressway properties don't really make sense. It feels nice, but this area has good connectivity to Cyber Hub, good connectivity to almost all of Dwarka Expressway. In fact, it has better connectivity as compared to a lot of projects on the left hand side when you come from Delhi, Dwarka to Gurgaon, because in a lot of these projects like Hero Homes, you will have to get out, go all the way, take a U-turn, come back, and then you will be able to go towards Delhi. Okay, or if you're going towards, or if you're in the projects on the left hand side when coming from Gurgaon to Delhi, you would again need a lot of a lot of space to a lot of drive to actually turn around. This project, on the other hand, has this advantage that immediately as soon as you get out of the project, you climb up the bridge and you go to the Dwarka Expressway. You can take a left or the right turn. I know that bridge is sort of a nightmare, but this still at appropriate time saves you a lot of time in terms of going out and coming in. And with upgraded infrastructure might be better. On the other hand, Cyber Hub, parts of other parts of Sona, etc., they are still a little bit of a challenge from the Gurgaon side, from going from the older part of Gurgaon. But in no way it is a bigger disadvantage as compared to when you are living on Dwarka Expressway. Irrespective of whether you live on Dwarka Expressway or here, you'll have to pass through Old Gurgaon when you're going to Cyber Hub and parts of Sona or Sona Road, and that doesn't really make sense beyond a point, right? So yeah, so this is very similar to Dwarka Expressway projects in that sense. Next, coming on to connectivity with the expressway, etc., we already discussed a lot about it. uh, Overall connectivity, largely because of upcoming metro, railway station, etc., is going to be fine, but there is a lot of dense traffic in the area, and that becomes a problem. Another problem which will come to as we go through is also problem around the overall time of rain, because this big area becomes quite a bit of mess during the rain, and when you're passing through it, there's a lot of water collection in and around the area, irrespective of whichever side you're going. You're going to Dwarka Express, you'll have a lot of rainwater stagnation. If you're going even outside the railway station to older part of Gurgaon, Cyber Hub, etc., you'll find many patches of deep water filling, etc. So yeah, that happens to be a big concern, and which is what brings me to the next part, that this is waterlogging and drainage is a critical issue in this area. Many approach roads, basement ramps, etc., are suffering from this issue in the entire region. And however, what remains to be seen and what is a risk with this project is that how will the project behave in terms of avoiding rainwater filling in the basement parking. As of date, the builder has many claims to make that it is the basement will not get stagnated with the water because they have built in certain drainage, etc. They have built in certain embankments and all, but it remains to be seen when stormwater comes in, how are the stormwater drains going to function. And also I think GMDA has a stormwater drain overhaul planned between Ashok Vihar and the railway station, which might help in terms of easing out some pressure on it and releasing the water in the Dwarka Expressway region. So let us see how does that come about. But for the time being, this is a big risk for this project. Again, you'll have to, when you're assessing, you'll not get a perfect product. So you have to assess whether how much does this impact you. There are 3 to 5 days in a year when this becomes a critical issue, and about 2 months when you'll have to have the right kind of vehicle, etc., to navigate through this area. Otherwise it's a mess. So that you have to be mindful of, but otherwise it is more or less manageable. But again, this becomes a risk in the overall project. So we also did a quick regulatory health checkup of the project. RERA filings seem to be in order. The problem is scan, the quality of scan is very bad, so you can't read a lot of things. But if you write to RERA and request them for papers and submit the fees, you can actually get all the scanned copies and they become readable. Almost all the promoter, location, etc., match the statutory records, match the filings made by Godrej Group with the SEBI, as well as with their registrar of companies in Bombay, etc. Then the building plan, etc., are all licensed and all the documentary work is in order. There are few documents which are missing from the RERA website, but they've actually filed for it. It is a problem with the uploading of those documents that you need to be mindful of. However, there are 2 yellow flags. One is that they have repeatedly over and over again jumped the timelines. This is almost the 3rd extension that they have taken, and I don't know if they will get waiver anymore, because it was the COVID waiver initially, then there is NGT ban related waiver which they get. Let's see, because there has been strict action against Godrej in one of the other projects. Maybe they're a little bit more compliant in terms of whatever they're going to do now. Which brings me to the next part. What is the construction status? Well, Jan 2026 is what they were claiming. However, now it is seeming like August 2026, and they might make a claim for the last part of demand because superstructure is completed. Now they're actually painting the outer facade and completing whatever inner fitments are required. So maybe by April, May, they continue at this pace, they might request for the next tranche of payment from most of the buyers. And we might also have the only risk, to be honest, is tower 2, which is running slightly late on some of the parameters, but it's also smaller, so builder can quickly pace up on tower 2 and close it quickly. While we cannot be sure till the date the delivery happens, because the superstructure has been completed, it is a low risk project at this moment. If you want to get in, it is advised that you might choose, again with your own decision, etc. It's not advice, but more like a suggestion that you can still consider it and try to get into it. So that part is there. Then in terms of rate, I've already set out the rate for you. About you can get products in 10,500 also on this. About this, and let's see what happens. Inventory configuration against 2, 3 and 4 BHK. There are 2 types of 2 BHKs. One is a little smaller, the other is a bigger. There's a typographical error in here, 1440, and there's a smaller version of it also. And all of this is RERA compliant. All of this is already on RERA. I think some of their internal walls are made up of ash bricks, so you can also alter the design. It is not a fully MY1 product. It is partial MY1, but structurally and outer facade, external walls are all MY1. So that way you are secure. It's just the internal walls which you can modify, etc. So it's best of both worlds, to be honest. Well, when you are buying it, do consider these 3 things. First, how are the regulatory updates? Do download RERA's quarterly progress report. Second, ask for construction milestones and etc. See them, how they're meeting them. What is the on-site work, what is their commitment, because that will be a requirement from your end to assess when you're taking this decision. And last is when you're doing the ownership, the builder is a little slow, a little casual. I would strongly advise you to look at the documentary work very properly and figure out everything for you. So that is how it's going to be went. Yeah, there's one more small issue of ownership around the area, which is not with the project per se, but with the ownership of the different roads in the region. Some are claimed by HSVP, some are claimed by MCG, some are claimed by GMDA, and some are not claimed by anybody, which has become more of an issue. The agencies are in that tussle, so those roads are not very well maintained. You would have seen that road that turns from railway station to the left side when you are exiting the railway station. So that road, that sector 3-4 dividing road is an issue. When you take that turn, nobody claims that, so it is not being maintained. So just keep that in mind. This is So who is it for? Is another question which you have to be mindful of. And to be honest, well, when you look at it, it is for people who live in that area. It is for people who uh, understand the central Gurgaon, older Gurgaon, and have their ecosystem in that area. It is a good investment opportunity also because there's a railway station. A lot of crowd comes from Jaipur, Alwar, etc. These cities on that track, and does want a good place to stay in from where they can commute to Cyber. Once the metro is ready, the commute is going to be much more convenient, and you will see that this place really gains attraction then. And then also for people who sort of want that uh, rental income, it is a good place. And who is it not good for? Well, monsoon disruption, zero tolerance are the kind of people it's not good for. And the people who need that new plug and play infrastructure which really energizes them, like the one that exists on Dwarka Expressway, then that's the second kind of people who might not like it. The third kind of people who might not like it are the ones who don't want to see that chaos outside on the streets. So those are the people who can avoid it. Well, I would say brand and asset quality. At the moment, Godrej doesn't have that in Gurgaon, but net, given its overall reputation, it is good. Connectivity, while Dwarka Expressway and Old Gurgaon do solve for most of the things as of date, and Dwarka Expressway doesn't have an advantage over this place. Net, macro, it might be a good idea to actually actually go ahead with connectivity. Well, it's going to enhance further with the newer metro station, with the newer with the revamped railway station, etc. Micro wise, old sector roads, etc., make it bad in terms of connectivity and civic infrastructure issues. Let's see how does it pan out once the project is constructed. It will take some time to. These are some of the disclaimers. Just go through it quickly, but that is it. If you need more such in-depth review and understanding of things, please feel free to reach out to us, and we'll help you